I'm currently working on the app for October called Chim Prodigy, and now that I've submitted 2 apps to the iPhone marketplace, I wanted to shed some light on the differences between submitting on Windows Phone and submitting on the iPhone. For starters, if you want to develop for the iPhone, you have to use Apple's operating system, OS X. And initially when I switched to OS X from Windows, I was really frustrated. It's not that it's worse, it's just different, and it takes some time getting used to. For example, copy and paste and find are tools I use often when programming, and on Windows it's Control-C, Control-V, and Control-F. But on Mac, I had to get used to hitting Command, and because I was so used to using my pinky to hit that Control button, I would twist my hands, hit the Command button, and then hit C or V or F. And it's not very comfortable, and I only realized recently that you're supposed to use your thumb to hit the Command button. There are some things I love on the Mac. For example, Mission Control, where you swipe 3 fingers and all your applications come in, and it's really easy to switch between them. It just feels really good. Wow, this is amazing. So now that I use both operating systems regularly and often switch between the two, I can see how Windows users would get frustrated with OS X and how OS X users would get frustrated with Windows. For example, if I've been using OS X for a while and I switch to Windows and I try to go Command-C to copy something, Command actually is the Windows button, and it takes me out of my code and brings up this whole Metro UI, and it's super irritating. Damn you. But they're both great operating systems for productivity, and if you give either enough time, you'll see that they're pretty similar. They just have different ways of doing things. Now, when it comes to development, Microsoft has done a really good job of making it as easy as possible for developers to get their app from their computers onto their Windows Phone. From the moment I hit build and run, it takes like less than a minute. But in comparison, getting an app from my Mac onto the iPhone feels like a really convoluted process. I have to get all these certificates, like a provisioning certificate, a certificate for my app, a certificate for my iPhone, and even hitting build and run, it feels like an eternity before my app actually gets onto my iPhone. Okay, time to build. 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 Oh, it's finally done. What was I building again? Now, when it comes to app submission and getting your app onto their respective stores, Microsoft does a way better job of getting your app approved. But that's probably because no one's submitting apps to their store. Oh my gosh, an app! Steve, we have an app! On the Apple App Store, it takes a really long time for your app to actually get reviewed by Apple. Chatterjammer, for example, took 10 days from the moment I submitted it to the moment that Apple actually reviewed and approved it. My app for October, Chim Prodigy, took 14 days, and the worst part was that it actually failed the review process because they found a crash in it in iOS 8.0.2, which didn't exist at the time when I submitted my app. I've since fixed that bug and have resubmitted it to Apple, and hopefully in 2 weeks it'll be ready on the Apple App Store for you guys to check out. Next week I'll be giving you a preview of Chim Prodigy and talking about my experiences developing it.